Good evening. My name is Alejandra Cabrera and I live in Mérida, Yucatan, Mexico. Originally, I come from Mexico City. Mexico City is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It has beautiful buildings and it has parks, museums, theaters. Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful city with tons of activities that you can do. It has schools, hospitals, universities. Well, it's a great city to live in. But what happened? Little by little, the traffic, the cars, started invading the streets. There came a time when only to commute to work, you could be in your car 2-3 hours. If you started commuting 30 minutes before that time that you should go out, you would have to be in the car 15 minutes only. So what happened? What's the difference between driving my car for 15 minutes to get to my job and then all of a sudden having to stay in my car 2 or 3 hours in order to get to the same place? There came a time when we people from Mexico City had many things in our car. I love reading, so I have my books, and as soon as the traffic jam started and everything stopped, I just took out my book and I started reading. But you could see that the woman in the next car was knitting and the other person was doing something else. So it became like part of our life to spend half of our day inside a car. The other thing that is happening and that is really, really dangerous is that people are getting fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. Every day you can read statistics where they say that diabetes is becoming an epidemic problem because there are so many people that have diabetes that medical doctors are considering it now an epidemic, which is not an epidemic, but it's so ubiquitous that it's now considered an epidemic. So here are two problems. First, the traffic jams, and second, the obesity of people. These two problems can be solved easily if we choose to change our cars for a bicycle. This is very important because I have seen people, neighbors of mine, who want to go to the store, to the convenience store that is 2 blocks, 3 blocks, maybe 4 blocks away from here, or even less, half a block, and they get their car and they drive to that place. So it's something that for me, it's unbelievable. You don't have to drive if you only have to go 2 or 3 blocks away. But that's what's happening. So what we have to do is we have to realize that we need to change our habits. If I love to eat and I don't want to stop eating, what I can do is I can park my car, I can take out my bike, and I can start moving from one place to the other on my bike. This will allow me to do exercise, compulsory exercise, every day. Some people tend to think that it can be very dangerous because the people are not very good drivers. Even more here in Mérida, Yucatan, people are not very good drivers. But nowadays, the authorities think that this is something that you have to do, something that is their chore. They have to solve these two terrible problems. So they have started with this situation. Every Sunday they have what it's called Mérida en Domingo. That means Sundays in Mérida. Here what they do is they close the main streets in downtown, and they rent bicycles. So you can go with your children, with your friends, with your neighbors, with whomever you want to go. You can go and you can ride your bike. So at least on Sundays you can leave your car in your garage, and then you can have your exercise, and you can have a lot of fun. Merida is a beautiful city. Downtown has a lot of beautiful houses. Some are even colonial houses. They were built in 1500s when the Spaniards arrived to conquest Mexico. So they have these houses. All these things you can appreciate when you are riding a bike, because you go slowly and you have time to see. On the other side of downtown you have French architecture. All these houses are built with a French architecture. So are really beautiful. They seem like small palaces, which are really, really, really worth observing. All these things you can do if you go on your bike. If you go with your car, you have to go so fast that you cannot see anything. There's also something very important in Merida. There are some streets that are covered with the tops of the trees. So there are some streets that have the roof made of the branches of the trees. So this is an excellent thing to see, to watch. All these things you can watch if you are riding on your bike. I know, because there was a time when I always used my bike, and I intend to use it again. That's what I'm trying to convince you to use your bike, but I am going to use my bike too. So this would be for Sundays, but for the other days of the week, they are starting to build special pathways for bicycles. So I'm sure that little by little it's going to be safer to ride bikes here in Merida and all over Mexico, all throughout Mexico. The other thing that is very good is that if you do exercise, you are going to lower your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure, and all these problems, the sugar in your blood, and all these problems that are causing so many deaths nowadays. People are dying because they are very fat. So we have to do something. We have to do exercise. And if I am really lazy and I cannot continue with an exercise program, what I can do is just leave my car parked and go wherever I want to go on a bike. Because this is compulsory. I have to go there because it's necessary for me to go there. And then I have to come back and I have to bring my bike back. So obviously I am going to have to ride my bike. The other thing why it's so important is because of the pollution of the atmosphere. We are polluting the atmosphere in such a way. When you go to Mexico and you are arriving, you're flying into the Mexico's airport, you can see a gray cloud on Mexico. I think this is very sad because Mexico used to be a city with a blue, beautiful sky. And now you can see this gray cloud on Mexico. There are some broadcasters who call it the city of the gray cloud. I think this is very, very sad, and I am worried that we are going to do the same thing with Merida, Yucatan. We are about to create the same problems that we have in Mexico City here in Merida, Yucatan, and that would be a complete pity. Merida, Yucatan has a beautiful, beautiful sky. When it rains and you can see the sun, sometimes you can appreciate two rainbows. I love to watch the sunset because as the sun is setting, the sky turns into different colors. It goes from blue to orange, red, violet, and finally dark blue. This is something that we can't lose. We deserve to live in a place where you can see the sky and the stars, where you can see the green trees. We deserve a beautiful, beautiful planet. But we have to do something. And the first thing that we can do is ride a bike. So I invite you to be healthy and to allow the atmosphere to be healthy too by using a bike. Thank you very much.